Hi, everyone. Welcome to the show. Today we have Sally Mueller with Womaness, and we're really excited to talk all things skin and menopause with you, Sally. So, welcome to the show.
Thank you, April and Kim. I'm so excited to be here.
Yeah. We are thrilled to talk to you. Kim and I actually brought our favorite products. We're going to hold them up because we do have a YouTube channel as well. Whoop. We were talking yesterday about this podcast interview, and for those of you that are listening on the podcast, it's the Fountain of Glow vitamin C serum. And we were collaborating yesterday and like, oh my gosh, that's
That's
your
my
favorite
favorite
product
too.
too. Exactly. So
Love
we're
it.
just thrilled that you have your new product line, and we continue to hear from our listeners and the people that we support that they have challenges with the changing skin and body during menopause. And we had a brief introduction before we hopped on here with the recording, but we wanted to just recognize a couple of recent awards too that you just received that might not be in your intro. You were just included in the beauty and fashion category on the Entreprenista 100 list. Is that correct,
Aw,
Sally?
thank you.
Yes, that's a big
Yeah,
deal.
it's really cool.
And you also were named the best startup by the American Startup Magazine. So, congratulations on
Thank you.
all of your accomplishments. We're wondering if you could start off with just sharing a little bit about your journey with Womaness and why did you start all over and start a skincare line for women?
Yeah. Well, thank you. That was a great intro,
Mm.
and I really appreciate you recognizing the awards. We're so grateful for all of the recognition that we've received. But Womaness really came about because when I was in my late 40s and I was definitely in perimenopause, I knew that, I knew that I was in that stage because my periods were very erratic. But what I didn't realize was that perimenopause and menopause was more than hot flashes. And I didn't experience hot flashes per se, but I was experiencing changing skin. I was experiencing night sweats, sleepless nights, obviously because of the night sweats. So many other symptoms. And that's very common that women are not connecting the dots per se and understanding that menopause is, well over 25. Some people have said even 40 symptoms. And so I really took it upon myself to see a doctor. I went to the Mayo Clinic, which is a renowned medical institution. And this was after just kind of suffering for a couple of years. And the doctor was really knowledgeable about menopause, made me not feel alone. And at the end of the appointment, she gave me a list of products that she recommended that I buy. And these were like vaginal moisturizers, lubricants, supplements. And I looked at the list and I thought, oh my gosh, this category needs to be disrupted. These products have not been invented or reinvented in decades. They weren't necessarily made with clean formulations or the latest ingredients. And I just felt like it was my calling to do something about it. And I had a whole career before Womaness of product development and marketing. I helped create a skincare brand called Versed. I worked at Target for 25 years, building a lot of lifestyle brands for women. So it wasn't necessarily out of my wheelhouse to tackle something like this. And so I felt like, wow, this has got to be a huge opportunity. And a friend of mine is now my co-founder, Michelle Jacobs. And I mentioned this to her, and she said, oh my gosh, there's so many women in my life that are changing careers, struggling with what to do next. Menopause might be that trigger for really reassessing your life.
Yeah.
You start to reassess where you're at in your life, your career, maybe your marriage, all sorts of things. So we really took that insight of women needing not just great products, but education and inspiration, and really a brand that celebrates women. So Womaness is all about those three things. It's just innovative products, information, and inspiration.
I love that.
Mhm.
So Can you help our listeners understand like what happens to your skin and hair during this time? And your products are natural, which I love and finally found my products with Womaness. So thank you for that. But why is that important in menopause to have natural products? What's gone into the research that you've done there?
Yeah. Well, what happens in menopause, and really it starts with perimenopause, which is that period of time before menopause when your hormones start to change and you might experience erratic periods and hot flashes and all sorts of symptoms. It can last 7 to 10 years, actually. Most women go through it in their 40s, but it can even start in your 30s. But because of the change in estrogen or the drop in estrogen, your collagen also drops in your skin. So it's just overall elasticity of your skin changes, and your skin typically becomes really dry and can be irritated because your skin starts to thin because of the change in collagen. So um, we have really formulated our skin and body products to be around hydration because that's most every woman needs that, just
Yep.
extra hydration and also gentler ingredients.
Mm,
So while we do have a retinol product in our Overnight Magic, which is our overnight cream, we use Bacchusol, which is a gentler form of retinol.
mm,
So we were just always looking for we always been looking for just those latest ingredients that either add extra hydration or are gentler on the skin. And then the other thing about our products that I think is something we're really proud of is all of our products are estrogen free. And then, of course, cruelty free, vegan. Um, but it's really important that women don't take extra hormones. Maybe they're on hormone therapy, which we totally support, but it's really important that our products are hormone free and estrogen free. So they're safe if you've had breast cancer or you just don't want added hormones. So,
yeah.
Yeah, that's great. And could you talk a little bit about like why natural is better than not natural? I think and there's probably a better way to say that, but you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
I've changed all
Ingredients you can't pronounce, right?
yeah, right. Yeah.
What is the difference? Yeah.
I
yeah,
think because I think that as you're through menopause, really all the studies that I've said is the more natural things that you can put in your body,
yeah,
the calmer your hormones stay and the easier the transition will be on that.
right.
And so I love that yours are, and I'm sure there's conversation had on what kind of some of those chemicals are doing to your body when you're not using natural skincare lines.
Yeah, yeah. Well, and maybe just if you can let me step back a little bit, we call our skin and body products and our whole line really clean. So we use natural ingredients, but we also use some ingredients that are made in a lab, but they're derived from natural ingredients. So
Okay.
That makes sense.
it's a technicality, but it's
Mhm.
not, I wouldn't say we're in the 100% natural
Sure.
category, but
Mhm.
clean. And I've had experience with when I created that other skincare brand that I mentioned, but clean can be more efficacious than 100% natural. So
Okay.
that's why we chose to go that route. But I would say overall, you want to look for products that have, transparent ingredients. Obviously, by law, we have to include all of our ingredients on the back of our packaging. But, for example, with our supplements, we have very few ingredients. And I think we're really proud of the fact that we're not listing a whole list of ingredients that no one really understands. I'm always suspicious of products that have so many ingredients. So it's really important to honestly look at those ingredients. And even on our website, we show all of our ingredients and we talk about the benefits of each one of those ingredients. So women do want to do their homework on ingredients. I mean, we
Yeah.
have a lot of customers that know a lot about ingredients. So I think it's really important. But I would say just to also, Kim, talk about what can happen is, skin and body products also absorbed into
Yeah.
your bloodstream.
Right. Right.
So it's really important that you're careful about what you're putting on your body, not just in your body, but what you're putting on your body.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Like,
that's
you know,
great.
completely agree.
some women are very sensitive to, hormone disruptors or just, you know, toxic ingredients. So of course we've formulated our products to be at European standards from a clean perspective, which is higher than the US standards.
Hmm.
So we meet all the, Target clean guidelines, Ulta Beauty clean guidelines, but even above and beyond that, we're meeting the European guidelines.
And
You
Sally, sorry to interrupt there, Kim.
no, go. You got it.
I want to move aside from skincare products and talk just a moment about your sexual health
Yeah, yeah,
products as well, because sexual health, it can be a taboo subject. Not a lot of people or women talk about that, especially the challenges that
right,
they might
right.
be experiencing
Yeah,
with perimenopause and menopause. And I know that several of our doctors have mentioned that orgasms are important to vaginal health. And
right.
so, talk to us a little bit about that and how are women embracing your sexual health products? And are you shattering that stigma? Are we
Yeah,
bringing it out into the open?
yeah. We are helping to put it out in the open. I'll say that.
Okay.
Sometimes it's difficult to advertise our sexual wellness products because I hate to say this, but Amazon and Meta or Facebook and Instagram actually take down those ads quite often. So it's really a disservice to women
Yeah.
because we can't always advertise these products. But we offer two different vaginal moisturizers. One is a coconut based, which is a natural antioxidant and very hydrating. And another is a Daily Be Soothe is the name of it, but it's a water based vaginal moisturizer. And then we do sell a vibrator. But women come to us every single day talking about their sexual wellness issues. And I think women are starting to talk about it more openly.
Mm-hmm.
We have a private Facebook group called the After Party, and a lot of women are talking about their issues or questions through that. But some women aren't ready to talk openly about it, and that's okay. I get a lot of one-on-one emails from women that come to me and say, "Hey, do you have a minute? I need to run something by you." And we'll get on the phone and they'll say, "Oh my gosh, I have no libido.
Yeah.
I used to find pleasure in having sex and I have no pleasure. And it's nothing against my husband or my partner. I don't know what's wrong with me." And, I'm not a doctor, but what I've been told is our vaginal walls, because the drop in estrogen, start to thin out.
Right.
And they are so tender, you know, and it causes you to have painful sex.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And then all of a sudden it's this ripple effect, right? Where I don't want to have sex because it's painful. And then you start taking it maybe personally because you don't even know the physical changes that are happening, right? You
Yeah.
think, oh
Right.
my gosh, what's
Right.
wrong with me mentally?
Exactly. Yeah.
So it's all intertwined. And, we've published so much content on our site, on our blog about this. So I just encourage your viewers to check that out. But it is a big issue.
Huge issue. We hear
Every
it
single woman. I
time
know.
again.
I
Yeah.
was talking to my husband about this morning as we were both getting ready. And I said, Mike, his name is Mike. I said, no woman at this age really wants to have sex because it hurts. And he was
Yeah.
said, it's
And
just
what
so,
was his response?
he said, that's so sad to hear. And,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
but it is sad,
Change
but it's
that
like,
though.
there are solutions. There are
Right.
solutions out there. Um, I know that I happen to have two sitting here, but our vaginal moisturizers, you should really try, it's a personal preference, but you should use a vaginal moisturizer 3 times a week, if not every day. It's just like taking care of your facial skin. And, and then there are, obviously hormone therapy. If you can go on hormone therapy or even vaginal creams can be helpful in
Mhm.
helping to kind of restore some of the strength of that, your vaginal wall in that area. And then some women have tried, laser treatments and that kind of thing if they have a really bad case of, vaginal dryness. So there
Mm.
are solutions out there, but you just got to start somewhere and don't take it personally because we are all in this together.
All in this, which is why I asked. I
Yeah.
asked the question for
Oh,
a couple of reasons, but I know we just had Colette on the show from Joy Lux, and we were
yes,
just having the
he's
same
great.
conversation that it's really hard to spread the word, right, on
Right,
sexual
right.
health and some of the things that we're offering because those ads get taken down. And I want to make sure that we're highlighting that here on our
Thank
podcast so
you.
that we spread the awareness. Um, I'm using one of those daily moisturizers, and I love it, by the way. So we'll
Yeah,
plug that
yeah,
in. But thank you. I just want to say thank you for creating that safe community
yeah,
for women
absolutely.
as well, that a place where they can have those conversations and ask those questions.
Yeah.
And I love that you're taking personal calls too, because I know you're busy.
You're all over the place.
Wow,
Yeah.
way to go
Yeah.
above and beyond, Sally.
Yeah.
And
I
I
love to talk to my customers and they can even set up a Zoom with me. So those are fun too. So I can get to know them. But
Sure.
I think we need to do a podcast on this social media embargo that's happening
yeah, I know.
because we need to speak with our feet and our money on
Yes.
that to
Yes.
help those companies know that this is not okay.
Okay.
Um, you talked about the after party,
Mhm.
and I joined the after party after I saw you on The View.
Oh,
And
okay.
I saw
Great.
you on The View before we met, so it was like I met a rock star when I finally got to meet you. But
Oh, thank you.
um, community is an important part of your brand,
Mhm.
and growing community and sharing and supporting. What have you learned by bringing women together and extra support during menopause in this space? We say it all the time, community makes a huge difference, but also everyone we talk to talks about the community they built or joined as an important part of their wellness during this time. Love to
Yeah.
hear about your community as a key part of your business and what you're finding out when you do bring community together.
Yeah. Well, I think everything is about the community. And it's like that whole sisterhood feeling that you get, right? And I think
Yeah.
a lot of it comes from the fact that women are frustrated with not getting the right answers. Maybe their doctor isn't educated in menopause. That's probably more cases than not,
Yeah.
and they don't know who to go to. So I think that's where these communities have been popping up and serving, almost filling a gap in their lives because they're not getting that support from the medical community per se.
Yeah.
And I know the medical community is a lot of these new entrepreneurs in the medical community are trying to change that, but there's just not enough educated doctors to go around for the needs and service all the needs of the women in the U.S. So community has been a huge, powerful force for us. I really love seeing it come to life, obviously through the after party, and that's just a safe place where women can learn from each other. We have expert interviews. We just had Dr. Taz, who's
Cool.
phenomenal.
Yep.
And Dr. Kapoor from the Mayo Clinic and others. So it's they're all recorded and on there. So check those out. But also in real life events. We've been doing quite a few of those, whether it's, in Minneapolis or LA. We did a menopositivity tour with Ulta Beauty a year ago, and we went to Dallas and Chicago and LA. So we're trying to hit all these major markets and really meet women in real life. And that is super inspiring.
I
Yeah.
love
Women do want to be together. They, you know, they're always so much fun because we always have some educational component, maybe a doctor or a panel, but then women just like to be together and learn from each other. So
Yeah.
it's a really powerful way to build community from like the grassroots up. Um, so I think, we're trying all these different ways of really meeting women where they're at. And obviously women are online, but they love to be together.
Yeah.
And for those, the after party for our listeners is a Facebook group
Yeah,
that
Facebook
you
group.
can join. And it is both interesting information and also celebration of
Yeah.
just where we are in this
Yeah.
point in our life. So yeah, I joined it right away and I'm like kind of a
Yeah,
groupie.
it's fun. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I love the name of it anyway, the after party. I want to be at the after party.
Yeah. I usually go to bed before the after party, but
I would like that. Yeah. So Sally, we talk a lot about aging well and not just lifespan, increasing lifespan, but your health span and enjoying, the latter part of our lives from midlife beyond. And I'm just curious what your take is on aging well. What does that mean to you?
Such a great question. I think right now I'm very much in the mindset of aging well equals like moving. And I've seen so many women as they've aged that have stayed active, and they're so much happier. They're so much obviously healthier and productive into their 80s and 90s. So I think my message is to myself all the time is I've got to stay active.
Mhm.
And it's hard when you're an executive and you're running a startup. You sit a lot, and
Yeah.
we're sitting on Zoom calls a lot. And
Mhm.
so I've got to take personal time to really invest in like moving and whether that's just speed walking. I love to play tennis, but I think weight bearing exercise is also part of that, and really just making that part of my routine. So,
Mm.
but aging well, I think also is just aging with confidence and realizing that we've all accomplished so much. We have so much more to do, but being proud of what we've all accomplished.
Celebrating, right? We talk
Yeah,
Yeah.
about
exactly.
celebration a lot. We have to look back and celebrate. And even the small things, I think, are important to stop and say, wow, right? Yeah, we
Yeah.
ring a bell when we celebrate, Sally. We each have a bell on our desk and
Great.
ring the bell. And we're like,
Yeah.
okay, we need to ring the bell a little bit more, right?
Yeah.
So,
That's a
The
great
small
idea.
things, at the
Yeah.
small things and the
Yeah.
big things.
Right.
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 Well, really, thank you so much for taking the time to talk with us
Ew.
today. Your story, your journey, your commitment to women in this life place that we're all in is amazing. Where can people find you and your products?
So womaness.com is our website. Ulta Beauty. We're in all Ulta stores. We're super proud of that. We're on the wellness wall. So there's a whole section for women's wellness. And then we're on Amazon.
Great.
So it's, and then obviously social media.
Yep.
Our Instagram handle is my Womaness. So
Okay. My
hopefully,
friend was really excited to hear that you had a whole wellness section in Ulta.
yeah,
We met last week and she was like, oh my gosh, I'm going to Ulta. I didn't know
fun.
it.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. They carry
Ulta's
all.
always overwhelming for me when I go in with my teenage daughter. She knows
Yes.
every aisle, every
yeah,
piece,
you can't go with
every
too
everything. So I went with her and we found the wellness wall, and I was like, she's
many.
all right, mom,
Part of me
whatever.
wants me to go to Ulta with her so she has my wallet.
Exactly.
No, it's definitely
Anyway,
a mom-daughter outing.
yeah.
Yes.
Well, Sally, we always end our podcast with a rapid fire. So we're going to do a little rapid fire with you, if that's okay,
Okay.
just to get to
Yeah.
know you a little bit better. So, first question is, do you like rainy days or sunny days?
Sunny.
Right there with
Okay. Do you like camping or staying in a hotel?
Staying in a hotel.
Oh, me too. Okay. Cake
Great.
or pie?
Cake.
What kind?
Oh, carrot cake.
Ah,
Carrot cake. That's
all
my
about
dad's favorite too. I searched.
spicy.
Love it. I might make some this weekend now that I think about it.
Okay, right on.
Okay,
And
great.
the final question we ask all of our guests is, what's the best piece of advice you've ever received?
Uh, be nice to everyone. You never know who's going to report to you, who's going to show up in your life down the road. So I've always had that philosophy. So glad that I had that philosophy when I was at Target, because I had so many younger women really respect me for that. So it doesn't mean that you have to be a wimp, but
Mm.
I think be respectful and a nice person goes a long way. So
Yeah, I love it.
Well, that shines through in everything that you do.
thank
And
you.
I mean that from the bottom of my heart. So
Thank you.
thank you for all that you're doing. Thank you for your products. Don't ever discontinue this Fountain of
I
Glow.
will not discontinue Fountain Glow or any of our
You-
top selling products.
Okay, yay, yay. Well, wonderful. Well, Sally, thank you once again for being
you.
on the show. And for all of our listeners, that is a wrap. So until we meet again, go find joy in the journey.
Bye, everybody. Take care.
Thank you.